Hello everybody, thank you for taking the time to join me today, where we're going to be looking at sort of tracking progress and successes with EducationCity during sort of the school closures that are happening at the moment. So while we are aware that some English schools may be reopening to some year groups in June, we know there's still a little bit of uncertainty surrounding the reopening for other year groups and other regions. And we understand that there will possibly be splits in terms of both students attending and in year groups. So teachers will yet again have to adapt to those challenges. We're always doing that, aren't we, teachers? But EducationCity can be used for both that day-to-day teaching and learning and for the assessments and sort of reporting, essentially. So this is what this is all about. Whether students are home learning or back in the classroom, we want to do these webinars to really help you in terms of bring students back into school, however long it takes, but also to give you guys the skills in using EducationCity so it becomes an everyday tool for both you and your students. So today, what we're going to be looking at are the assessments that we've got available. I know we've looked at them previously, so we'll just do a bit of an overview of that, and the activities that are also available to support the assessments. Obviously, all of our assessments and our activities are marked for you as well. So that leads us nicely into the success tracker, where you can view everything that is marked by the system for each child group, classes if you need to. So the account I'm going to be using, yet again, it is an English account and a made up school. So do not worry, any names you see are completely made up. No GDPR being broken here. And once again, if you've got any questions, please do hold off to the end where I can give you my email address and you can send them over. We really do love hearing from you. Okay, let's get started. Let's head over to EducationCity. And here we are. Now I am using the new page. I just think it's a lot easier to sort of navigate in terms of the tools that I'm talking about today and other sort of the core subject tools. Now, if you're on the own homepage, don't worry. If you click onto the ribbon just there, it will bring you to this new page. So in the middle of that page, you will see we've got our assessments, and you can set the assessments in 4 simple clicks. You can just go through and have a look at those. Now, this is why it's really important that we can get those students uploaded, because you can look at a class or a group of students. And again, you can choose your age range just here. Let's go for year 3. And then it will talk you through your who, your what, your when, and your title. Now, if there's anything that I'm talking about today, do not worry if you don't understand, or maybe if I'm going a little bit too quickly for you. You will find all of our webinars on the video user guide just here, and also all of our sort of how-to guides, if you like, in terms of uploading users, creating groups, etc. So it's a really, really handy tool to have. So back to the assessments, we've got our who, our what will be the year group, and obviously this will differ for Scotland, for example. It will sort of say sort of P2 to P7 just there, and your subject areas. Now, the assessments we have range from year 1 to year 6, or P2 to P7, for English or literacy, maths or numeracy, and science. And there's a whole range of for example, reading comprehension, grammar and punctuation, spellings for English, and there's the maths formative, summative, and your science end of year tests, and massive range of those for you to look through. And as I mentioned earlier, all of these do get marked for you. So let's head into English. Let's pop a spelling assessment in. It's always worth remembering you can preview each of those assessments using that function on the side there as well. So we can go next, and we've got our published date, and again, really handy because we can actually put it in advance. So if I want these to, the children to do this in the summer term, or maybe even sort of September of next year, if I wanted them to, you can go through and you can find that date. There it is, just there, and you can pop sort of that date in. So for example, I'm going to set this from the 15th to the 22nd. So they've got 8 days to do that. So they've got the sort of working week and the weekend. And then you've got your title here. Now, I always find it really beneficial to sort of pop in assessment, maybe the year group that it's for, or the class even, and also the date that you have set it for, just because then when it comes back to your My Cities and you may be the end of the year going through and deleting any that you no longer need, you can know which ones are for assessment and which ones you might want to keep in terms of tracking for the following year. So as soon as we've done that, you can see we've got our who, our what, our when, and our title, and we can finish. There we go. And the great thing is that as soon as that's finished, you can just click OK, and that's it done. You just wait until the next stage for that to be published, and then you can start tracking. But what I'm going to actually do is head into the My City using that view button, and you can see there's the assessment I put in. But then I can start, maybe I want to add some more assessments in. There we go. Really handy filters down here as well. So we can search for that, and then we can start filtering by the year group. There it is, year 3, just there, the subject area and the content type as well. And again, I'm looking for assessment. So I've got the spelling assessment in there for year 1. Let's say I decide to actually take that one out, and instead I'm going to pop the year 3 one in there. So you can do that. You can slightly tweak what you're doing there as well. Might pop a maths one in there as well, maybe a punctuation and grammar. And actually, I might leave this one just for English and get rid of the maths one again. So you can really sort of tweak what you're doing with these folders at this point. Now, the great thing is as well at this point, what I'm going to do is type in, for example, punctuation. And I'm going to get an activity, really easily recognizable via that puzzle piece icon just there. And as I mentioned, these are also marked for you. So maybe possessive apostrophes might be a handy tool. And then maybe things like subordinating conjunctions. There's 2 of those there. Let's pop those in. I could go back and pop in a learn screen as well if I wanted them to return to that. Obviously, these My Cities are yours to create. But in terms of assessment, I think this is really handy because you've got your assessments in there, and you've also got a couple of activities that relate to that assessment for the children to complete. Now, I could sequence this and lock it in that order, but I'm actually going to leave it open because I want them to dip in and out of this particular My City. Maybe they want to do the activities first and then do the assessments. Maybe they want to do both assessments before they do the activities, or maybe they want to do one of each as they're going through, so the activity assessment, and so on. That is entirely up to them. And obviously, as usual, we can pop some details in just there and change anything that's got that little pencil just there as well. So I'm just going to save that again, make sure we save all of our changes as we're going along. Now, I've already assigned these to students as we were doing the assessment right at the beginning, but you can, again, go through if you need to and slightly tweak who's getting those just there as well. So you've not changed that class in any way, shape or form, just slightly tweak that and make sure we save. Now in the preferences, again, it will talk you through everything. The one thing I will do, I've already published to those students, but I'm going to extend the time frame because I've added a couple more of I've added a couple of activities in and another assessment. So I'm going to give them 2 weeks to do this. And you will see, as long as this is amber and scheduled, you can update the date. So you can continually alter what it is that you're doing. Now, if you scroll down here, you know what you're doing here in terms of your children, the minimum score pass rate, countdown timers, things like that. The one thing I am going to do, I'm going to turn quit finish off, and that will be both for the activity and the assessment. I want them to do it no matter what score they get. I want them to put their best efforts in. But I am also going to leave a gain on, meaning that they can keep having a go at that activity so that they can sort of try and achieve their best score. So we scroll back up to the top there, making sure we save as we go along, and then we can start tracking. So you can track here what the students have done in terms of not attempted, they're in progress, or they've completed. But if you want to track student scores, I suggest using the success tracker. If I head to the home page, you can find it just here. Now, this is so beneficial in terms of reporting. And the great thing is that you can track for a term, a half term, an academic year, a key stage, or even from year 1 to year 6 or P2 to P7 for your children. But you must make sure that your users are uploaded. And obviously, if the children have started using EducationCity in year 1, then by year 6, you're going to have an abundance of data for them. So I'm going to head back to 2016. Let's just go for January the 1st. Why not? Until present day. And again, you've got your class, group, or individual filter just there. Let's go with year 3. And you can see all of this data that we have. You can export that data into an Excel sheet for reporting purposes, and you can start to edit some things as well. So if I just want to look at mathematics or numeracy, let's update that, and it will just show us those maths things. Maybe if I just want to look at any assessments, I can do that again and really sort of filter down to what it is that you're wanting to do, and we can have a look down there. Now again, if I want to just have a look at an individual pupil, this will be extremely beneficial for any students going to another school, maybe from an infant to a junior or primary to secondary, because you can take those reports and pass that information on. So if I just type in Brandon as an example, and let's just update that, you can see now you put everything that Brandon has done, and you can change it from the sort of most recent if you want to the least recent. You can go through all of those, or maybe from what was done in different year groups if you want to. Really, really useful functions, updating those columns and using those reporting functions as well to pass on that data. And the great thing is that if I head over to the most recent assessment, where is it? There we go, formative assessment just there. I can have a look at that assessment that the children have done, and I can have a look at any incorrectly answered questions just by clicking there. So all incorrectly answered. So number sequences just there, number sentences just there. We can have a look at any he didn't attempt. So we've got sort of fractions just there as well. And we can even go into that revision journal that the computer has created, because for a lot of our assessments, the computer will not only mark it for you, it will create an independent revision journal prescribing remedial content for each child based upon the questions that they've gotten wrong. It will put it straight into that child's login, so they will be able to do their independent revision. You can see here, this particular child has completed that one. We can scroll down and have a look as well. The two times table division challenge just there. He's got his best score just there. So they can keep having a go at all of these activities and learn screens as they need to, using it for that independent revision. So that is just about everything for today's webinar. Looked at the assessment that we've got available, those activities, remembering both of those will get marked for you. And obviously the success tracker tool that you can use for reporting, whether it be for the end of the year, passing the data on to the next teacher, or for that transition into another school. Really useful data tools. And don't forget, all of our webinars are available on our YouTube page. Just head over to YouTube and type in EducationCity as it appears just there. Or you can find them on that video user guide, as I mentioned earlier. Please do let us know if there's a webinar that you would like to see. We love your feedback. A lot of our webinars, upcoming webinars, are being created based upon your feedback. So if there's anything that you need or you've got any more questions, please do contact us. Got our email address just there and other details as well. Thank you ever so much for taking the time to watch today. I really hope it has been useful. Please do take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.